Irving Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning.
From Irving High School, it's the ICTN Game of the Week, District 9 6A Girls High School Basketball. The Lady Vikings from Nimitz High against the Lady Tigers from Irving High. Hi, everybody. Rob Willman with you, along with former head coach G.W. Melton with us. And, Coach, when we look at these two teams, when you look at Nimitz, right off the bat, you got to look at their leading scorer, Daniqua Brown, as one of the key players for the Lady Vikings.
Yeah, Daniqua's just getting introduced right now. She's one of the keys. She's the leading scorer in district. She's up to her average from the non-district. She's averaging 16.3 points a game. Had a career high of 28 against Sunset last time. See her hitting the three there. And she's going to be very important because Irving's got to stop her.
On the other side, Erin Sanchez, she is miss offense for Irving.
Oh, yes. Erin is the leading scorer for the Lady Tigers, and she's averaging 16.8 a game. Again, up from the non-district. That's great. These ladies have stepped up their game for the non-district. She had 33 last time against Nimitz.
So there are your two key players in tonight's ball game. The starting lineups, first of all, for the Lady Vikings. We talked about Daniqua, Taisha Gray, McGee, Chalmers, and Benavides, your starting five. For the Lady Tigers, Erin wearing number 3. Rodriguez, 15, Okiki, 22, Knowles, 23, and Dillingham, 30. Some changes there because the Irving Tigers having to wear their white home uniforms. They wore gray or their gold once before, but Coach Robinson telling us before the ball game that that was a no-no, her wearing the gold, so she's got to wear the white when she's at home. Hey, I'm not complaining. Look at the numbers. For an old guy like me, you can pick up the numbers pretty good in the white.
Easier to see.
Yes, indeed. This game is really important as we've counting this one. We have 3 district games, as you see Coach Robinson there, before the postseason begins, and no one really wants to be that 4th seed because you're going to play a really good team when you move on. There's Skyline, MacArthur, and heck, Coach Robinson was telling me, you know what, MacArthur still has to play Skyline. They could lose again. We may tie MacArthur for 2nd place. So, you know, they're not only looking to stay away from the 4th seed, they're looking ahead hoping to maybe be a number 2 once everything is said and done.
Yeah, Irving's not content. They want to move up in the rankings to get the best seed.
All right, Knowles will be jumping center stage. We're waiting to see who she will go against. And the referees over at the scorebook, maybe they didn't get the memo about the number changes. We had 4 players that had to have their numbers changed. Romero is now at 5, Rodriguez at 15, Brooklyn Wright at 12, and Knowles, who's starting, is wearing number 23 compared to 33. First meeting between these two schools, close through 3.5 quarters of play, and ended up being a 7-point game. Sanchez through the roof with 33, her season high. Brown with a steady 13, and they were pretty balanced. Coach Owens told me, she said, you know, we just committed way too many fouls in that first meeting and gave Irving an opportunity to go to the free throw line and you know, just go to the bank on that. As you take a look at Owens and Robinson talking to each other, it's got to be over the numbers. That's all I can think about.
Yeah, probably something with the book. You know, they came and showed us the Irving book, which had the correct numbers.
Right.
So it shouldn't be Irving. It should be something with Nimitz's roster. You know, you have to have the right numbers in the official book, which is normally the home book. If somebody copies down the wrong numbers, that could be technical fouls for each one that's wrong. So you really want to make sure that you've got it copied correctly.
Well, I'm looking at least 4 out of the 5 Lady Vikings on the court, and all their numbers are correct. And 34, which is Chalmers, all 5 of theirs are correct, unless Chalmers came off late. I don't know if she had to take off some jewelry, or I know they used to let the girls tape up their jewelry at one time. Now you don't wear anything, but yeah, there's going to be a technical, so it has to be something in the book.
Something in the book, probably, yeah. what?
Okay. All right, so Sanchez will start things off with the free throw.
Yeah, one of the Nimitz players was not in the book. So, Irving starts out shooting 2 free throws.
And she makes them both.
And that's why it's very important that you have someone that you know copying down the book correctly.
Sanchez, 63% from the free throw line. Well, it seems to be correct in my book.
Yeah, but yours in the official book.
In my mind it is.
In your mind, that's correct, in your mind.
So, very quickly, the Lady Tigers are off to a 2-0 lead, and Sanchez will inbound to Dillingham. Dillingham, who leads this team in assists. You can see why they have her over at the point. Rodriguez goes baseline and misses. Benavides with the rebound, and she gives over to Gray. So Gray's going to run the point. Tropolak not in there. She will play tonight, but she's a little bit under the weather this week. Attempted shot missed by Brown, and here come the Tigers. And picked right off by Gray. Gray against Dillingham, and Dillingham will reach in and commit the personal foul. Is that a good foul or not?
That's probably a good foul. You're cutting off the sure layup. You didn't give her a chance to shoot the ball, so now they just have the ball out of bounds. You get a chance to set your defense up.
Just underway. Trying to work inside to Benavides, to Chalmers, but 3 seconds in the lane. Chalmers spent too much time in the paint, and that'll be a turnover against the Nimitz.
I wonder if they're going to call that. I was looking at too many people in the lane.
Sanchez over on the right wing. She's guarded by McGee. McGee will have her hands full. Sometimes they'll run a high pick to free Sanchez up. Dillingham left alone, not even close. Nice hustle on the baseline. Okiki with the putback, and she has got the first 2 points from the field goal range. And it's 4-0, and now a steal. Dillingham with the left hand, and she is fouled by Gray. And not exactly a start that Coach Owens and the Lady Vikings wanted to see, but they've committed, about 3 fouls already, or a couple of fouls, and sends Dillingham to the free throw line. That one just went off the leg of Gray. I mean, no one stole it. It's just a bad dribble. And then Dillingham using the body nicely there to shade off the defender. And the southpaw goes up there and misses her first free throw attempt.
Yeah, I believe that'd be 3 fouls. The technical should count as a team foul, so puts you a little bit closer to the bonus.
Dillingham in district play averaging close to 6 points a ball game. And missed them both. Boy, when postseason rolls around, you've got to make those free throws.
Oh yeah, in postseason everything's going to be magnified. You got to make the free throws to keep the ball game, and you don't want to lose that advantage.
Brown works inside. Chalmers has it slapped away. Nicely done by Knowles, but there is a foul charged against the Lady Tigers, and that'll send number 34 Chalmers to the line. Watch the block here.
It's a good block on the first shot, but then she stopped, and Chalmers kept playing and got the rebound and put it back up and got a foul.
Chalmers puts the Lady Vikings on the board. She's averaging about 44% from the free throw line. Next shot, it's good. So Nimitz breaks the ice, and it's a 2-point lead for Irving inside, and there was a push. Appeared that Benavides defensively pushed from behind, and that'll be another foul against Nimitz. Non-shooting, Sanchez will inbound. Dillingham over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez left alone, in and out. Okiki works so hard underneath the rim. The putback is short. Here comes Brown with a great speed and acceleration, but got a little bit underneath. And a whistle and a foul against Nimitz on a push.
Well, Nimitz is pushing the ball up the floor pretty good. He's got to get the shot to get in. But then another foul.
You know, it was early in the season, but the Lady Tigers defeated MacArthur way back in 2014. There's a runner down the baseline, not there, and a rebound. Benavides pulls up, and she commits the turnover with the travel. I asked Irving coach what the difference between the last 2 times they played, and Coach Robinson just said, you know, that Mac did a little bit better job of pushing the ball up. So they were close in that game for 3 quarters. She goes, we were there, but the 4th quarter we just fell apart. Dillingham in and out. Okeke, great position, and somehow keeps the basketball, tried to save it. Last touch by Nimitz. And Tropolak will now come in after about a minute and a half gone by in the first quarter.
Yeah, beating Mac has to be a big boost for your program. You know, Mac's been on top for so long, and then, you know, your team come on and beat them one time and then play them well the second time.
16 games in a row Mac had won. And a follow-up and good by Knowles. Her first basket and a quick timeout by Coach Owens and the Lady Vikings.
Yeah, Nimitz is not where they want to be. You know, 4 points right now. You know, 2 of those from the technical foul. And they've got some fouls. The scoreboard only shows 3, but I think it's going to be more like 5, isn't it?
It seems that way. I know, you know, I don't think they put the technical up there to start the game. Nimitz, who were the whole time Coach Owens said the time that Nimitz played Irving the first time, the girls were just so amped up just to play Irving. She said they pretty much just forgot everything they were taught in the first quarter. She goes, they weren't in control. And she said, everything I had taught them just went out the window, you know, for the first 8 minutes. We found ourselves behind, and then finally, you know, we caught up and made a game of it. You know, it's something that you've got to control your emotions.
Yeah. You have to control it within the framework of your offense and defenses. You know, just hustling without any, you know, intent is not very good.
Pass gets away from Gray, and a good job by Dillingham right there. Screening off Gray and not allowing her to save that one out of bounds, and Dillingham will inbound. Sanchez returns to Faber and will set up shop offensively. Both of these teams, compared to Mac, real deliberate in their setup. Not a lot of backcourt pressure per se. Inside, all by herself, is number 23, Knowles. She averages about 6 points a game. She's got 4 already here in the first quarter. Gray, past Sanchez, fast break, Brown. Brown to her left, blocked from behind by Okeke. Out to Aaron. The layup, got it. Nice play defensively by Okeke to start that fast break.
Yeah, good job of getting the ball out to the open person and taking it all the way in.
Tropolak hesitates. Knowles with the offensive board, keeps it alive. Sanchez going to be called for the foul, reaching over the back of Brown.
I wasn't that close on that, but it looked like it was a block. I didn't see the body contact. Could have been.
Good break for the Lady Vikings to send Aniqua to the free throw line, averaging about 43% free throws. So just a little over 4 out of 10 find their way into the basket.
Yeah, Irving's going to have to find a way to keep Chalmers off the board. Here comes the block. Let's see.
There's the first one. That's legit.
And then the outlet.
Yep, the fast break.
That's what you like to do. Get that thing out quick and go.
When we've watched these Lady Vikings, it seems like it always takes Brown 2 quarters or so to get warmed up, and then she starts pouring in the points for the Lady Vikings. Going to be called for traveling there.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go when she lost the basketball. And she'll be called for taking a walk. We've had, maybe 1 substitution. For the most part, everybody going with their starters. In this key district matchup, Vikings with a season-high 79 in their win over W.T. White last Monday. That was in the books, the most they've scored in about 10 years when they defeated these same Irving Tigers.
Yeah, that's quite a few points to score.
There's a turnover. McGee not buying it. The sophomore says, what up? Meanwhile, they will bring her in, and Nimitzvs will check back in as Coach Owens going with the bigger lineup. She definitely has the size out there.
Yes, has a size advantage right now. And it's showing on the offensive boards. They just haven't been able to convert anything.
Irving hoping to extend this lead by at least 10, maybe more. Okiki, baseline blocked, rebound blocked. Chalmers, just a junior, she'll be back next year. That's a positive for the Lady Vikes. Watch the replay. Clean block there. Body and arm the second time around. And Knowles goes to the free throw line. Just the front end of the two-shot foul. Knowles just a sophomore. A lot of youngsters on both of these teams. We'll be seeing these players again next year, and that's a positive for both of these coaches who inherit programs that traditionally have been rather weak in the past.
Oh, yeah, and both teams should be in the playoffs, and that's a great thing. You get in the playoffs, and you got people coming back. They're going to have that little experience. You can share it with the new ones coming in.
Brielle Box, number 41, the sophomore, 6 foot, checks in. She had a good game the last time we watched her play on ICTN.
Looked like just a little bit man pressure there and then backed off a little bit.
And the block by Knowles. Yeah, we've seen it, 3 or 4 blocks in the first quarter.
A lot of blocks tonight.
Sanchez left alone. That is Brown with the rebound. She lost control.
Got it back up.
Gray trying to split the seams. Kicks it to Brown. Brown leaves that foot pivoting so she does not get the travel. Baseline, Gray, she just goes all the way around, creates space, the jump shot. 2 points for Taisha Gray, the 5'5" junior, getting a starting nod tonight.
Finally got something to fall out there. That's a long time to go without getting any shots to fall.
Yeah, that was kind of one of those relief shots.
Oh, it will go in.
Yes. Dillingham waits for Sanchez, inside Okiki. They just work it all the way around. Rodriguez, Okiki, good separation off the glass, missed it. And Irving will keep possession. Nice ball movement, Coach.
Yeah, doing a good job moving the ball around, getting somebody isolated inside. I'm trying to figure out what Nimitz is running. It looks like a man, but or it could be a matchup zone. The post is kind of just roaming the middle, not really picking anybody up until they come down. So earlier, Chalmers left somebody wide open underneath. It's hard to figure out exactly what they're running.
Tropolak with the board. Gray, there's Benavides left alone. Got it.
It's a good job of ball movement there, getting the ball down the court and then seeing the open person ahead of you.
Tatiana with her first 2 points. Under 2 minutes. Quarter number 1 of this crosstown rival. And Aaron will just pull it back and timeout Katrina Robinson. And she wants to set things up. It's not under a minute, so it's not like it's the last shot she wants to set up, but I think she wants to protect that lead and try to set up a play, something she's seeing, or obviously something she didn't like what was going on offensively. Maybe not enough movement.
Yeah, not movement. See what she wants to get out of this. They even talked about what they want to do defensive-wise coming back. Don't want to let Nimitz start breaking the ball that quick.
Series-wise, it was Nimitz for the longest. And back in 2012, they 41-11. That was a pretty lopsided victory. Then Irving returned the favor, and last year with that 51-17 win. Irving with 3 straight over these Lady Vikes. That last one was the closest since 2013, that 49-42. That was 2013, although Nimitz won them both. They were both close contests, very competitive. All right, after the timeout, let's see what kind of adjustments are. I do know they've moved Sanchez over to that left wing now, and Dillingham is more or less at the point. Tried to work it to Okeke, and wow, a nice play that time by Box defensively to anticipate the pass.
Looked like Nimitz changed up their defense a little bit that time.
Brown with her first 2 points. Yeah, like they used the timeout to their advantage.
Oh, yeah.
And changed things up defensively, and it worked out for them, and they've cut it down to a 3-point Irving lead with a minute to go. Okeke really backing in on the baseline, trying to get position offensively. Sanchez for 3, rims it in and out. Knowles cannot get the rebound away from Tropolak, and now with 40 seconds to go, Coach Owens calls for the 5 play, and we'll see if the Lady Vikes goes for the last shot or not. Tropolak.
Drive in.
Yep, finds some room and gets it to fall. Zoe with her first 2 points. The senior averaging 9 on the year. And it's a 1-point Irving lead. A few seconds left here in the first quarter. Sanchez, nice movement, nice. Yeah, Okeke left open. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. Well, it started slow for Nimitz. We got a game on our hands in the first quarter. 13-10. Irving back for the second quarter in a moment. Irving by 3 after 1 in this key district matchup here on ICTN. Inside game really paid off for Irving in that first quarter with both the big girls, Okeke with 4 and Knowles with 5. So 9 of the 13 points came from inside for the Lady Tigers. Brown baseline, pretty shot.
Yeah, nice little one shot.
She has 4. And it's a 1-point Irving lead. Sanchez traveled, took just a little step trying to get up to Okeke inside on the baseline. Aaron just a little off her game here on the early go. Don't forget she scored 33 the last time these two teams met. Obviously the Lady Vikes remember that.
Yeah, still plenty of time left. You never know.
Chalmers couldn't put that one back in. And the Lady Tigers on the move in the white trimmed in gold. Dillingham left alone as Brown gives her some space. Dillingham charges the lane and the ball just bounces around like a pinball machine in the paint. Who touched it last? Obviously it's going to go Nimitz's way.
Yeah, it looked like a little confusion there on Nimitz defense. They left somebody open, but they recovered well.
So Yowell comes in and Knowles checks out for the Lady Tigers here in the early stages of quarter number 2. Tropolak over to Gray, and they break the press pretty easy. Brown again, boy, money on that shot.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice little shot. If you can get that anytime, take it.
That little 5 or 6 footer there on the baseline. Nothing but net both times. Knowles is fouled by Brown. And Knowles will go to the free throw line. Or scratch that, Okeke. Okeke, the 5'11 senior. It seems like we've seen her every year on ICTN. She has not put up a 3-point shot in district this year. Her game is right in the paint and right underneath the basket.
Touch. Made that one fall in.
She's about a 60% free throw shooter. Slow and deliberate with her second shot. Bounced in and out.
Hate those.
Chalmers rebounds, gives to Gray. Gray motors across, but she's double teamed and then fouled from behind. It'll be Dillingham or Sanchez. Let's see which fingers it.
It looked like the first time Irving had a chance to double. Tried to double from the backside and got a foul out of it, though.
Sanchez will sit down. Rodriguez will come in. So Coach Robinson and crew may be looking at having to play a few minutes without their leading scorer tonight because of foul trouble. And there is an offensive foul against number 34, Chalmers. Sheree with the moving screen.
Yeah.
Watch it here, Coach.
Kind of stuck that leg out a little bit at the end.
Dillingham gets it back eventually as Abram is now in. Bounce past Okiki.
Good movement on Irving's part. Nimitz looked like a little half-court trap. I wasn't sure there at the end. But they're putting some type of pressure. Irving handled it pretty well.
Yep, and Yao with the assist, finding the open Okiki. Great double team. Brown loses the handle. Somehow, yeah.
Another
blocked.
Shot.
Chalmers, the miss, the ball tipped around. Tropolak, wide open shot. Chalmers, wide open shot. Still battling for it. She loses a handle on it. Picked up by Dillingham, and she's fouled from behind by Brown.
Irving's losing the battle on the boards right now. They've got to get the Nimitz girls off those offensive boards.
How many shots do we get? There's Chalmers with one. Tropolak, offensive board. There's two. Chalmers, there's three. And she lost the handle, and now they're going to call Brown for an intentional foul, sending Dillingham to the free throw line. Missed her last two free throws, but connects there.
Looks like Irving will be in the bonus from here on out for this half.
Dillingham, second shot, good. So, after missing her first two, she knocks down her second two opportunities.
Plus they get the ball back.
4-point game, second quarter. So far, about as close as we anticipated when this game started a few minutes ago. Dillingham double teamed and a blocking foul against Brown. Gosh, is that her third? I believe so. If that is Brown's third foul, It is. One of their key scorers, she is going to have to sit down.
Yeah, with 5 minutes to go, 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, you don't lose your leading scorer.
No, and she will sit down. And Box will come in and take her place.
Nimitz has run that little half-court trap again and got a foul out of it. You got to be very careful with that.
Dillingham back at the free throw line. Well, let's see what kind of offense Coach Owens now goes to now that she doesn't have Brown. Although a lot of Brown's points have been transition games, not a set offense. Gray trying to find someone open. Box is there. Too much on it. Chalmers feeds over to Benavides, who has too much on it. And he goes right into the hands of the Lady Tigers. And we're seeing a lot of role players here out during crunch time. Oh, might have got her there, but.
Oh, yeah. If she hadn't mishandled that ball, she would have had a layup. There was a wide open lane there. Somebody didn't rotate properly.
And a full timeout on the court with just under 5 minutes to go here in the second period, 18-14. The Tigers on top. You know, I was talking to Coach Robinson, and I said, well, you know, she said, look, we're in good shape. We could actually tie MacArthur for that second place. And I said, so you'd have a playoff game? No, she said, I'd rather flip a coin and decide who is second place that way. I don't want to play a playoff game to decide what seed we are.
Yeah, some coaches don't want to do that. You know, you run a chance of getting someone injured. You get your kids all fired up for a game, and the playoffs are a different beast. You know, you want to go into that, the first game ready, rested, and just ready to go. But if you have to play one before, now it's different if you're playing for a playoff spot. But just for a seed, you may not want to do that.
And she said she wants everyone healthy. She'd rather have a healthy team than someone who goes in with some injuries. And, you know, you got to admit, both of these teams aren't deep on the bench per se. You've got a couple of key contributors, and you've got to have it come crunch time. Now, tonight against each other, let me tell you, the Lady Vikings have had some players come off the bench and play well. Also now checking in is Ruby Navarro, number 22. I don't think I've said Ruby's name.
I don't think she's been in tonight.
No. I can't remember the games that we have done either, so she's out there in crunch time against Abrams. So,
yeah, with the foul trouble with their starters, you know, Nimitz is going to need to depend on the bench a little bit tonight.
Missed by Dillingham in the corner. Chalmers very easily with the board, and Gray will slow things up across the timeline. Both coaches have not worked with this crew officiating before, but they both realize that they do call a tight game. That ball is broken up nicely and picked up by Rodriguez. We'll have a jump ball. Alternate possession goes towards the Tigers. Since Jesuit, of course, does not field a girls program, you'll have an open game. You'll have a bye throughout the season. And Coach Owens, she went ahead and scouted Richardson last week. Okiki going inside, knocked away. Big presence by Chalmers underneath. She said those Lady Eagles are tough. I don't want to be a fourth seed.
But that's great, you know, get an opportunity to see them and have an idea of what you want to run against them, how they play defense, and, you know, just have yourself prepared a little bit in case you do play it.
That was a jump ball, by the way, and so the possession arrow now pointing toward Irving Nimitz as Box will come in and Chalmers will sit down. So the Lady Vikings alternating some of their bigger players instead of keeping them both in at the same time. Box just misread that one. McGee went one way and Tropolak went the other.
That's frustrating when you throw the ball away and out of bounds underneath your basket. You want to try to get a good shot out of that. Nimitz got out of their trap right now.
Dillingham has been running that point since Sanchez sat down on the bench in foul trouble. Okiki going to the hole. She's fouled by Navarro, and she'll go back to the free throw line.
Did a good job of getting her offensive rebound and putting it up again. She had somebody open on the backside who was very quick. It meant to be a great pass, but Nimitz is leaving some people open every now and then.
Okiki and the Lady Tigers in the bonus for the remainder of this quarter. Okiki makes the first free throw.
I believe the next foul put him in the double bonus, if its clock is correct.
Benavides back into the lineup, and Coach Owens going with a taller player to try to equalize Okiki underneath. Their second shot is true. Six-point Tiger lead. Tropolak inside the box. Box loses a handle and calling Rodriguez for the travel. And that turnover will give Nimitz the ball back under their own basket. We haven't seen a lot of transition. We haven't seen either team really just kind of flow with it. We've seen a lot of stoppage and play because of fouls underneath. Box missed it. Benavides goes down, and the Tigers called for the turnover as Robinson called for traveling.
That's Steph Rodriguez got the ball down.
Gray looking, finds Box underneath. Benavides misses, and Okiki, who averages close to 8 rebounds a ball game, gets another. Tigers are slowly trying to work on that lead and expand it some more before intermission. Rodriguez, the runner on the baseline. Nope. Had an open shot.
Yeah, left the baseline open. She drove and just couldn't get the shot to fall.
So Dillingham will inbound. Tried to go to Okiki. She was double teamed. Somehow worked her way free before the 5-second call. Dillingham, good. And it's an 8-point Irving lead. Box left open.
Have to have some backside help on that. Defense has to rotate over and help. The ball goes to the baseline. If you're somebody on the other side, you should be stepping in the middle to be able to pick that off.
Dillingham draws a foul as Gray is going to be charged with running into her. You know, I look back at how far this Lady Viking team has come. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. You get someone loose on the baseline like that, they couldn't make a basket.
Yeah.
Dillingham missing the free throw.
Irving hasn't been capitalizing enough on the free throws. Get an opportunity to step up that line, you got to put, at least one of them in.
Missed them both. Okiki almost stole that one away from Tropolok. Zoe just spins around and gets across the timeline. Closing in on 2 minutes before the break. Benavides wide open.
Nice little lob pass inside. Did a good job of sealing off, getting the pass over. Again, you got to have backside help. The backside has to come in and help on that.
Well, right now they're feasting on the baseline, and they've cut it back to 4. But they just can't break that Irving lead. Tigers with the lead from the get-go. Long three-pointer. Woo, count it by Abram. Our first three-pointer of the ball game. Only the third three-pointer Abram has made in district. Double dribble. Tropolok.
With girls, you kind of think they're going to shoot a lot of three-pointers because girls work on shooting the ball, whereas boys, they work on making moves and trying to dunk. And the girls are more finesse, and they work on shooting that thing.
Well, that lead can now blossom to 9 with the basket here. Greg, good anticipation. Howlett, Tropolok, Benavides. Well done by
nice little break.
Tatiana. Cut it to 5. Dillingham, she goes the other way. Tries to spread it and go through the trees, and there's going to be a foul, I think, against Benavides.
She did a good job penetrating there. I don't know how she got it through there.
Yeah, she had to go through 3 players just to find room.
She made it in there, drew a foul. I just have to hit free throws.
And Kayana makes the first. She's been to the free throw line 8 times. It's her 9th coming up right now. She's 3 out of 8. Could be 4 out of 9 if she can make this one happen.
It's not a great percentage, but you guys keep trying to get there and get the fouls.
Made those 2 in a row. She's picking up the slack from Sanchez, who has missed most of the second quarter in foul trouble. Gray going left, and a foul. Was it away from the basket? No, it was Abram that was guarding Gray, called with the foul. So less than a minute to go. Vikings setting up shop offensively, looking for some points here before the break.
Abram must have had her hand on her and extended out. That's the only thing I could tell.
Not even close. Box fighting for the rebound. Didn't square up. Benavides there got a good look at it. She misses. Who else but Okiki with the rebound?
Irving's lucky to be ahead right now. They're giving Nimitz 2 or 3 shots each time down. Nimitz just hadn't capitalized.
Abram tried to go to Okiki, and wow. Nice job by McGee anticipating that pass. Tropolak, and she is fouled as Abram didn't give her enough room to react. That's like those fair catches in football. You don't give the guy enough room to.
Give him a little room.
Got to give him room to catch. They didn't give her enough room to catch and spin around and dribble the basketball.
That's good hustle on both teams' part, though. Both of them getting after it, making some things happen.
That is Box. Finding on the baseline is good. Nice job, McGee, with her first 2 points. Shot at the buzzer will not fall. And we finished a half of basketball. Kind of ended in a flurry there in the end of the second quarter. Our score, Irving 27 and the Lady Vikings 22. Back with the statistics and highlights from the first half in a moment. Irving High with a 5-point lead at the break, 27-22 in this key district matchup at Irving High School. Let's take a look at the highlights here in the first half. Daniqua Brown got things going for the Lady Vikings. She was deadly on that baseline. Gray, she had to pick up the slack a little bit when Brown went on the bench, and Gray hits the J. And then Benavides finishes off a fast break underneath for 2 points. On the flip side, on the Irving side, defense is the key. Okiki, who averages a 1 block a ball game, comes up big there, gets it to Sanchez for the easy layup. Then Okiki with the feed inside off the window in 2. And then finally Dillingham with the jumper. She had to pick up the pace a little as well with Sanchez on the bench in foul trouble. Both teams with their guards riding the pine, if you will, in the first half. Brown, Benavides each with 6. Everyone else with 2 points. On the other side, Okiki has 9. Dillingham with a lot of those from the free throw line with 6. Knowles with 5. Sanchez and Abram, the other scorers for Irving High School. So, Coach, play coach for both of these teams. We'll start with Nimitz. What do you think they should do in the second half?
Well, Nimitz just has to be able to put the ball in the hole. They're getting 2 or 3 attempts each time down. They just have to be able to capitalize on that. Irving has to be able to keep them off the board, or Nimitz was going to start doing this. And both of them just have to put the ball in the hole. Nimitz, Kiki, they have to keep her on the floor. She didn't start right now. She's got the 3 fouls. You got to be able to come back in with her and have her put some points on the board for you.
All right, Dillingham running the point. Aaron Sanchez in there with foul trouble. They're working around. Brown is not in for the Lady Vikings, and a turnover from the get-go for Irving High, and it's controlled by Nimitz and Gray. Gray against Dillingham. Tropolak gets the start here in the second half. Benavides with the turnaround. Tropolak, nice hustle there. It's blocked by Okiki and picked up by Rodriguez.
Again, Nimitz had 2 attempts at it there. They just have to get the fall.
Boy, if they could get half of those attempts,
oh yes,
it'd be a different ball game,
sure,
wouldn't it? Rodriguez misses a jump shot, and she was left alone in the corner. 1 and done on that series for Irving High School. So Nimitz will get their second attempt down the court here in the second half. McGee stops the dribble. Gray with the head fake, but Dillingham wasn't buying it.
They're trying to isolate, get it inside.
Zoe works it inside to Chalmers, who had a good look at it but couldn't make it fall. Rodriguez, fast break, numbers not on her side. Okiki comes trailing and draws the foul across the paint. And if that's on Chalmers, then there's the big girl in trouble for Nimitz. There's Okiki.
Block.
Well, between Okiki and Knowles, it's kind of tough to work an inside game.
Yeah, it's like trees in there. You got to go through those limbs. Irving did a better job of rotating over on the backside and helping them. They're trying to isolate Chalmers inside, and did a pretty good job and stopped that last attempt inside.
Okiki 4 out of 5 from the free throw line so far. 4 out of 6. Gray. Is it a foul or a turnover? It's going to be a foul.
Call a foul on it.
Is that Sanchez? And if that's Aaron.
Yeah, I think they called it on her.
That is her third. So far, you're in the backcourt and you pick up a foul like that. McGee misses the open shot. Both teams starting a little sluggish here in the third quarter. Abram now working one of the wings as Rodriguez is sitting down for the breather. That one goes off the hands of Abram, and a nice play by Gray. When she went to save it, she pretty much just threw it right into the hands of Abram, who was out of bounds, and Nimitz will contain control here in the third quarter of play. McGee left wide open. They give it to Box, who's fouled by Dillingham, but good ball movement that time by Nimitz.
Very good ball movement. Nimitz looks like they're trying to work the ball inside a little bit more. And very good ball movement and wound up somebody wide open underneath.
So that'll put Brielle Box to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Makes her first free throw.
Danique was coming back in the ballgame now.
So they rested Brown for almost half the third quarter. This is only the Lady Vikes only had 4 free throw attempts in the first quarter, or the first half. Only 6 in the ball game. Box knocked that one out of the hands, but they get it back. Dillingham, a little runner, a little out of control, and Tropolak gives it over to Gray. And a couple of flashes where the Tigers almost had a double-digit lead. But the Lady Vikings have just hung around enough. And now it looks like they're drawing the fouls here in the second half.
Yeah, they're working their inside game now. Screen across, come over, try to get the ball inside and drawing some fouls and trying to use their size in there.
So once again, Box will go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Some good concentration there.
Box is 6 foot. Benavides is 6 foot. Made them both. Both are sophomores. Then you got Chalmers at 6'2". Chalmers on the bench though right now. Boy, a long-range three-pointer by Abram missed. Dillingham, nice hustle. Ball is tipped around, rebounded by Knowles, and she draws the foul.
Now, Irving got a few chances at that time. They did a good job on offensive boards.
Well, you've got Knowles at 6'1". She's the tallest one out there right now. This is the first of 2 for her here in the third quarter.
It's always nice to have some height. Got one of them to fall.
Used every bit of the iron, and 4-point Tiger lead under 5 here in the third quarter. Do they still go inside, or do they try to get Brown involved?
Run a little zone now.
Brown gets a good start. Could have called a foul there.
Coach Owen wanted one call.
Boy, I think she jumped about 5 feet into the air after that.
They used to have a seatbelt rule.
For coaches? Here it is again. I think right there on the arm.
That should have been a foul. She slapped that, but they didn't call it, so it's not.
Stolen away by Sanchez. Gray coming up strong. Sanchez was out of control. Gray called for the foul. Viking fans on their feet a little upset over that. Taisha trying to keep from smiling, and, well, I think maybe she has a lot to complain about. What do you think?
Yeah, I think she does. Like I was saying, there used to be a seatbelt rule. If you got a technical foul as a coach, which that first technical foul counted against the coach, you had to stay on the bench. Now, they may have told him, Coach, we're not going to count that against you, or we'll let you stand up as long as you don't do something. But she's been quite vocal, and I don't blame her.
Sanchez with her first 2 points in about a quarter and a half for her. Brown almost got the 5-second call against her. Gives it over to Box, and Abram right there, number 10, called for the foul. Almost at the halfway point of the third quarter. 2 more district games to go after this one. Benavides misses. Ball right into the hands of Abram, who in turn loses control of it as she crosses the line.
It looked like she took a couple steps before she even put the ball down a while ago. But
you hear in football where they look before they catch.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing. She was looking and not paying attention to where she was dribbling.
Yeah.
Looking for that open player. We've had our fair share of turnovers, but hey, you expect that against a couple of teams like this. Tropolak.
That's good ball movement by Nimitz. Moving the ball around, getting open man person.
Well, Knowles made her alter her shot.
Yeah.
And she came across on the baseline, and that good defense, hand in the face. Brown, and she is fouled by Dillingham. Just didn't give her enough space, did they?
No. That thing on block shot, you say somebody has so many blocks, but a lot of times you don't have to block if you can make the person alter their shot.
6 team fouls against Irving already. 3 against the Lady Vikings. Benavides, ball tipped around. Tropolak, offensive board, and another foul against Irving.
Gonna be in the bonus.
That's Dillingham, and she's not digging it, let me tell you.
No.
And now Coach Robinson's going to have to go to the bench. And Dillingham will sit down, and Yao will come in. Another one of those sophomores on that Irving Tiger bench.
Yeah, you don't want to go into bonus this early. You hate to have the other team shooting 1-1 each time.
Bad call's a bad call.
One and one. I didn't know if the ref was talking to Sanchez or talking to the other ref.
Look like she was talking to Sanchez there.
Tropolak misses the front end, but then gets the rebound and puts it back in.
Irving needs a basket here. They need to take their time working in and get a basket. They really in need of one.
Yao into Okiki, who misses. Ball pops around. Brown brings it out, Box did, but she took a few steps before she could get the dribble down.
Irving got the ball inside, just couldn't get the foul for him.
Yao left alone. Gives it to Aaron. Sanchez, the runner. No. Okiki, rebound. Got it.
Chance for a three-point play. Kiki did a good job staying there, getting a rebound, and putting it back up. Need a foul. The replay here. Shoots. Kiki gets it. Goes back up and draws a foul.
I'm telling you, if it's the fourth quarter, I'm feeding Crystal.
Oh yeah.
Just give it to Crystal every time down. She plays much taller than she is. She's a force defensively, and she seems to be the person that, when it comes crunch time, that's who you give it to.
Yeah. I think that's who I want having it.
Brown, first shot, nothing there since she got in foul trouble. Tropolak with great hustle saved it. It went off the leg of Box, but Okiki thought maybe I could grab it, and she, looking back on it, of course, she let it go, and it would have been her team's ball. Nice defense by Sanchez. Sanchez to the hoop and draws the foul.
on that last inbounds over there, Irving just went to sleep. You know, they thought it was out of bounds, and Tropolock just went over and got it. She said, I'm not through yet.
No.
That ball's still playable. Let's go get that thing.
Sanchez averages 3 steals a ball game. We've seen her with a couple already in the second half. Makes another free throw. She's 5 out of 5. Just as much as I said, give it to Okiki low. Maybe I'll just give the ball to this girl and just make her drive and draw the foul and get to the free throw line. Sportscaster's jinx, I made her miss one, but it's still a 7-point Irving lead. 2.5 or so to go here in quarter number 3. Gray's a high dribbler, isn't she?
No.
Tropolock left open, the iron not her friend. Kept it out of there. Comes Sanchez. Double team. To Okiki. Kicks out to Abram, and Abram maybe not ready for it.
That's good ball movement. They moved the ball around, got the person where they wanted, they just didn't handle it right.
That's what gives you all that gray hair, right, Coach?
Oh, yeah. In my case, losing it, too.
Almost 2 minutes. Zoe double team, ball is knocked out of her hands and picked up by Okiki, and I think they're going to call Zoe with the foul after the turnover.
At the first of the half, Irving was running a man-man, and Nimitz was doing a great job of getting the ball inside and isolating. Now they've gone to a zone, and they're not being as successful getting the ball inside, and Irving's been much more successful defensive-wise.
Jump ball, arrow goes to Nimitz. So then you change again offensively,
Yeah, you know, there you're going to work it and probably get a little short jump shots. Isolate in the short corner. You still can get it inside. It's just a different type of sets. And you can still screen the zone. See, there's a good job ball movement there. Hit the high post. Low post seals the person off, and then they get the shot.
And a turnover in the backcourt after the Benavides shot, and a quick timeout for Coach Robinson and the Irving Tigers.
Yeah, she wanted to get this thing stopped there a little bit.
Thing about the Vikings so far in this ball game is every time you think they're right on the edge of taking over, Irving comes right back and has an answer.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a good ball game when it's that way. Of course, you'd like to be the one that just kind of keeps going ahead, but they won't. Neither one of them's done that yet.
Well, we go back to MacArthur next week on ICTN. The Nimitz boys against the MacArthur boys. That'll be a fun game. Replay times, dates and times on your screen for boys high school basketball. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be the girls' playoff games. Hopefully we'll be able to arrange that and do a by-district encounter on ICTN. That is Pam Owens, third year, coached at Garland back in 2011-2012. The Lady Owls lost in the area playoffs to DeSoto. They finished in second place in that district, 10-5A, and were 25-9 overall. She said, the biggest thing that they've preached this year is just make the playoffs. That's our starting point. Make it to postseason.
Yeah, that's usually everybody's goal when they start the season. Let's get in the playoffs. And some teams they say, well, let's go 2 rounds in the playoffs. But when it's been a long time since been in the playoffs, that's the goal. Hey, let's get there. Let's do something nobody's done in a long time.
Last series there, Benavides missed an open shot underneath, but they get it back. Morado, number 10, first time we've called her name for the Lady Vikings, out. And she's got the basketball right there. Coach probably not wanting to get a foul called on some of her stars. Tropolock shot is blocked by Knowles. Sanchez working against Gray, moves to her right. Uncontested in for the layup.
Nice little move.
Really good move.
In the middle.
Yep, if you don't get the jump shot, then make things happen with the penetration to the hoop. Brown's on the bench right now, trying not to pick up a foul for the Lady Vikings. Gray over to McGee. McGee has Abram in her face. Gray. Shot is altered because Okiki is there to alter it. Somehow she comes up with their own rebound.
Yeah, you can't let the shooter get their own rebound.
Is that a pet peeve of yours?
Oh, yeah. You want to block that shooter off.
McGee double teamed and a foul. With 13 seconds to go in the third quarter. And that will send McGee to the free throw line. Wow, that was on Sanchez. Her fourth. They have 2 players with 4 fouls. Dillingham and Sanchez. A double dribble against Tropolak with 10 seconds to go. So we'll have to watch those fouls very closely in the fourth quarter, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Can mean all the difference in the world. Abram with the ball. She's got about 3 seconds. Someone's got to shoot it. Sanchez. Yeah. Oh, nice effort. Does it count? They said no. Yao does not get it.
Looked like the horn didn't go off right when it hit 0. Of course, there's a little gap right there when it hits. Here's the replay.
All right, let's look again, Coach. Sanchez with the shot. Yao just left uncontested. You see 0. They don't have the light.
No light on these backboards.
All right, we finished 3, headed for 4. Our score, Irving 36, Nimitz 29. Back with the final quarter in a minute. Well, one more quarter to go here at Irving Gymnasium. A great game so far after 3 quarters. We'd like to thank our sponsor for allowing us to do the game of the week, and it's Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning, charter sponsor of the ICTN Game of the Week. Our appreciation to Gerald Stavely and his staff at the dry cleaning establishment here in Irving for their support of the ICTN Game of the Week. Well, we've got 1 quarter to go, and Yao will inbound. And they're going to go ahead and just leave Sanchez out there. I guess the coach says you're just going to play till you foul out, huh?
Yeah, probably tell her, hey, play smart. Don't do anything stupid, but we need you out there.
Yao finds Okiki, who gives over to Knowles.
Good
Knowles,
ball movement.
Very good movement, and somehow Yao comes up with a good hustle on her part, but now Tropolak has it. 2-on-2 break. Zoe draws the foul, and she'll go to the free throw line a little gimp-legged after that shot. Didn't start tonight. She'd been a little under the weather. Had nothing to do with an injury. One player that will not play tonight is Miller, their sophomore, who has concussion-like symptoms after she ran into one of her own players during a drill. Tropolak misses the second. Boy, she's favoring that leg after the foul. Sanchez will now sit down, and Dillingham will come in. Both players that are in foul trouble, both Dillingham and Sanchez with 4 fouls. Also Abram with 4 fouls. Tropolak missed both the free throws, and it's still a 7-point Irving lead.
Drills can be very dangerous in practice. I mean, you got your kids going hard, and every now and then you run into each other.
With the rebound is Chalmers. We haven't seen her out there for part of the third quarter.
Yeah, that can make a big difference here, her back end.
A lot of players for the Vikings with 3 personal fouls. Brown, 1 of them. Tropolak over to Chalmers. Kicks it to Gray. McGee has Okiki in her face, so really not a lot you can do with it. Just beats the 5-second call. Brown has some room, and she draws the foul. There's a player who's been really quiet in this ball game. She had 6 points in the first half. A lot of those right there in that one stretch where she hit about 3 on the baseline, where she had that little soft jumper, and we haven't heard much from her. She's traditionally a very strong fourth quarter player.
Yeah, she's been in foul trouble quite a bit. That's why. So, maybe we'll see her come on here.
She's missed all 3 of her free throws so far.
That's what you don't expect out of one of your leading scorers, to miss 0 for 3 free throws.
Averages about 14 points a ball game, and she only has 6 now. Halfway to her average. 6-point Irving lead. Dillingham, fouled by Brown. That's not the kind of foul you want to pick up.
No.
And that is her 4th personal foul. This may come down to whoever has the strongest bench.
Yeah, that's true. See who can depend on their bench the most tonight.
First trip to the line for Dillingham here in the second half. And she missed the front end of that. Jump ball, it'll be the Vikings' possession. Well, trying to figure out that
Yeah, I don't know what the confusion was.
series of events, but
That was good hustle. Even though she didn't get the ball back, now she got the possession era back on Irving's side.
6-point Tiger lead. They've led from the get-go because of a scorebook issue. Irving started with 2 free throws by Sanchez, and they've had the lead ever since. Brown. Boy, she took off. She didn't care if she had 5 or 4 fouls or not, right?
No.
Just take off.
Nimitz moving the ball around fairly well, and Irving's doing a good job of keeping the inside covered. That's what Nimitz was hurting Irving against in the start of the second half.
Back in January, when these two teams met before, it was 37 all after 3 quarters.
A little different this time, but we'll see what happens.
Irving's ball. 5-point lead. Not only trying to stay away from that 4th spot in the playoffs, the Tigers are hoping that they can force a tie with MacArthur, who still has Skyline in district. Foul on Knowles underneath.
Pushing foul.
Or Chalmers, excuse me. The 6'2 junior. Box comes in, and I think Chalmers will set down. Sanchez off the bench for Irving.
Did Chalmers have 4 fouls or 3?
I'm looking up at how many players have 4 fouls for Irving. There's 4 players with 4 fouls for Irving.
That's a long time to play with 4 fouls.
Knowles misses the free throw. And Okiki draws the foul, and she will go to the line for the 1-and-1.
Kiki did a good job of getting that rebound. That's a rebound. That's what you got to have. And Nimitz is going to have to play a little, softer, I guess, in there.
This is the 9th time Okiki has attempted a free throw. She's 5 out of 8 right now.
Benavides came back in for Nimitz, and she'll add a little height in there, a little strength on the boards.
6 out of 9 for Okiki at the line. 7-point Irving lead. They keep that cushion.
Irving's still in that zone. They're going to try to keep that inside covered.
Yao trying to front Benavides. Bounce pass to Brown. She's able to save. Found an opening. Stops, pops. Yeah, out.
Can't get the ball.
Oh, Tropolak. What a play.
Offensive rebound.
Very rare do you see that over Okiki, but man, she just hustled in there.
Yeah. She did a good job of getting position. Walk they didn't call.
Okiki misses. Tropolak left unattended under the glass.
I think Coach Owen agrees with me on that call.
Gray will slow it down a little bit. That's McGee. McGee the bounce pass over to Brown. Gray has Okiki in her face. They try to go inside, forced it, stolen by Sanchez. To her left, draws the foul.
She was out of control going in there. They should have just left her alone.
Hard to teach sometimes, isn't it?
It's hard to make that mind up. See, she's already out of control.
If she wouldn't have reached in, I don't think she would have got the whistle.
Probably not.
I mean, she did make a lot of contact,
No.
but enough.
Yeah.
And that's happened twice to Gray. Both times.
Just a little bit. Sometimes it's how you do it.
Right.
That makes them think, well, they must have got more than I thought.
Sanchez has money at the line. And she's given her team that 7-point lead again. Gray, dangerous pass to Brown. Brown stops, really not squared there when she made the shot. Okiki with the board, and the Tigers looking to expand again. Trying for that knockout punch. Nice give and go to Sanchez. Reverse layup missed.
Nimitz hadn't got as many offensive rebounds this half. It's just from the zone that they're running, it's playing better. Oh, they're doing a little better job blocking out.
Tropolak. Whistle after the shot.
I think it's on the rebound.
And I believe that's going to be the 5th foul
So Knowles,
on
yes.
Knowles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a key player for Coach Robinson's group.
Yeah, loses some height there.
Yep, fouls out with 6 points. And it sends Tatiana to the free throw line. And for the Vikings, this is where you got to make these shots count if you're going to do anything to make a run here toward the end of the 4th quarter.
You got to hit some free throws. If you're going to get a chance to step up that line, you got to put it in. You're in a situation where, you know, 7 points down, which is not a great, insurmountable amount. If you can hit some free throws and you get some things that fall offensive.
And there is Tropolak again. She loses the rebound, got it back, ball is loose. Yao came up with the loose ball, and now Dillingham will run the offense. Less than 3.5 to go in the game. Yao, the give and go. Missed by Abram. Yao, she just seems to be everywhere. Sanchez to the hoop and draws the foul. That's what Aaron's got to do tonight. She doesn't have a lot of space to set up and shoot the threes like she's accustomed to.
Yeah. Coach Owens over there saying she walked before she got it.
One of the few misses from the free throw line. Eight out of 10 for Aaron from the free throw line. Brown will sit down for the Lady Vikings, and Shasted will come in for a few minutes. Coach Owens trying to rest her stars.
You know, Irving's got some girls in foul trouble. Nimitz got to attack them. Try to get those girls fouled out.
Good ball movement. Tropolock over to Benavides. There's Sanchez. Somehow the ball pops around and she gets it back and draws another foul.
That's good hustle on everybody's part. Everybody's kept going towards the ball instead of standing and watching, which so many times they do. Here's a replay. Watch the loose ball. Keep getting after it. Loose here. Somebody picks it up. Has an opportunity to go in.
Nine out of 11 from the free throw line for Sanchez. $14 points for Aaron. Just a couple shy of her average. And the good ones do that. If the jump shot's not there, then
you pick it up on the free throw line.
Yep. Shasted inside. Gray from three. Back iron, and there's Aaron with the rebound.
In the first half, Nimitz had 2 or 3 chances each time. In the second half, Irving's doing a better job of keeping the ball out of their hands off the offensive rebound.
Brown about to check back in for the Lady Vikings. Irving can be deliberate. Abram to Okiki. Off balance shot. Nice.
Nice move by Okiki. Irving's just patient, moving around, getting something. They have the opportunity to be patient. Whereas Nimitz going to have to come down. They're going to have to score. They're going to have to attack them.
Timeout, Coach Owens. Our girls down by 12. And time is running out. Looking at the stats, this is what's important about the district standings, because wherever you finish, this is, if you're in last place, you play the Lady Eagles, who have been pretty good this year. 11-0, number 4 in the Metroplex. The Lady Scots at 9-2, then Lake Highlands, and then Mesquite Horn. The top 3 pretty good, and then it kind of drops off after that. That's why you want to win district, so you can get that 4th seed in that first round. And these two teams aren't going to win district. They should make postseason, but how all that plays out starts tonight.
Yep. It's this time of year is fun when you look at the board. Okay, we got to do this. If they do that, we can still be here. You kind of figure out what are the chances of different situations. And but Nimitz, they haven't been in the playoffs for a long time, and their goal is to get there. And I think they're going to get there. And sure, you don't want to play the toughest team, but you're still going to have in mind we have a chance. If we can get there, we have a chance.
Benavides with the shot on the baseline. Lady Vikes applying a little pressure as we're under a minute and a half in this ball game, and they're down by 10.
Now, Coach Owens telling them to come out.
Sanchez with the tray.
That's one of those shots. No. All right, good shot. Good shot.
That might have done it right there, folks.
Could have.
Aaron finally with some space to set up and let her rip. 13-point lead, and right now the Lady Tigers say, go ahead, dribble that thing around, and Sanchez another steal. Missed it. Dillingham gets the rebound, and she is fouled. That time Gray just let her go.
Yeah.
Unlike the other 2 times, and she didn't draw the foul.
No.
But then she committed the foul later on Dillingham, and
and
that is number 5. So Gray fouls out with 2 points.
Now, defensive-wise, Irving just needs to, make Nimitz take as much time as they can to score.
Coach Robinson may look at those free throw stats after the game and decide they may need to shoot some more in practice. Except for Sanchez. Brown, the runner, no. Okiki knocks it out of bounds. And it's like you said, just use up time. Even if you don't get the rebound, force them to eat up a few seconds.
Oh, yeah. Nimitz ran a little sideline break off that free throw to try to get a quick shot. They got a quick shot, just didn't fall. But they got the ball back. They got to score quickly. They don't have time to move the ball around a lot.
Brown missed the shot. And now Irving can just let the clock run, and run.
Did a 5-second, no.
Cal, in and out. Okiki kicks it out. Sanchez. Back to Dillingham. Tigers get another win. And they keep pace with MacArthur in hopes for that second playoff spot, winning 49-35. We'll wrap things up in a moment. Stay with us. Sanchez ended up with 17 points. Okiki had 16. I'm going to put that right there.
I won't drink it.
Please don't. Since when? They seem to be turning things around at UT. Did you? Can you hear us okay in your headset? Okay, good.
One, two, three. Okay.
Okay. Go right to the okay. I'll ask first, you ask the second question. Okay. You can do the defensive question if you want.
All right.
Well, the Irving Tigers victorious 49-35. Coach Robinson joining us now. And, Coach, every time it seemed like they were poised to make a run, you guys had some sort of answer for them. How'd you feel your girls played tonight?
I feel like they played really well. One of the things I always tell them is any team is going to have their runs, and they're going to go on runs. But we have to stay with it, stay poised, as you just said, and go on our own runs. You have to get a stop and then go down and score. So I feel like my team did really well with that.
Coach, in the first half, Nimitz was out rebounding you on offensive end, and I know that's a no-no, right?
Definitely.
And in the second half, they started working the ball inside, and you switched to the zone and kind of cut that out, and that was a good move.
Yes, my coaching staff and I discussed it, and we felt like our guards were getting beat on the perimeter some, and that way they were leaving that post player open in there. And so we switched to the 2-3 zone, which we worked on in practice as well. So it was a good switch to do that, and that gives us inside position on the rebounders. And with Crystal Okiki in the game, she can make a rebound and make a play out of anything.
Yeah, she did a great job.
She did.
You had to lean on her a lot tonight.
Definitely.
Aaron was in foul trouble. In fact, a lot of people in foul trouble tonight. How does that change the complexion of the game?
I feel like Kiki's used to us depending on her. But last time we played Nimitz, she was in foul trouble. So it's kind of a trade-off, but we let people get in our heads a little bit, which is why I took Aaron out in the third quarter, and I told her, you let me know when you're ready to go in the game. And she said, okay, Coach, I'm ready. So whatever she was going through mentally, she went through it, and she got back in the game, and she played very well to finish the game.
And free throws for Aaron. That's your money person up there when it comes to free throws.
Yeah, definitely. I harp on free throws all the time. Like, you have to make your free throws. You have to make your free throws. And as a team, we did a lot better this game than we've done in most of our games.
2 games to go.
2 games.
How do you feel your team is playing now and looking forward?
I feel like this is something to build on because we had our breakdowns, but then we had a lot of good moments in this game, and we can just build on those. And with that being said, as long as we're building on everything, that'll take us right into playoffs into our next 2 games.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
All
I
right.
appreciate y'all.
All right. Appreciate that as well. Coach Robinson of the Irving Lady Tigers victorious tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights in the second half. She talked about Okiki, and, man, she was there with some key plays on the baseline. You saw the block, and then Sanchez with the drive, but there's Okiki with the putback with the offensive boards. And then when you needed her down the stretch, playing with 4 fouls, was Sanchez, and she finally got open for that three-pointer. Nothing but net. Pretty much ended it for the Vikings toward the end when she hit that three-pointer, and they were victorious tonight. Scoring-wise, Benavides with 10 points. Really well tonight for the post player. Brown, not her usual game, man. She was off a little bit in foul trouble, Coach, and that really made a difference. You see Tropolok, Box, and the rest of the scores for the Lady Vikings. For the Tigers and Sanchez, who would believe she'd have 17 points? Well, a heavy dose at the free throw line will make up all the difference in the world. And what can you say about Crystal Okiki? 16 points, very tough, playing very well on both ends of the court. Dillingham with 7, Knowles with 6, and Abram with 3. So final thoughts, Coach, as we've got a couple more games to go for the ladies down the stretch. It seems to me, at least at this point in time, the Tigers are playing much better ball.
Yeah, they are. I think both teams are poised to go into the playoffs, and it's a great situation for both Irving schools. All 3 Irving schools are going to be in the playoffs this year, and that's great. Nimitz, their scorers just didn't have a good game tonight, but that's going to happen every now and then. And as they finish out the season and get ready to go to playoffs, I think they're going to build on this and be ready to make a good run in the playoffs.
All right, we'll have to see a couple more games to play out, and hopefully we'll have one of these teams in postseason in the Bi-District right here on ICTN. Again, the final score, the Lady Tigers 49, the Lady Vikings 35. For GW Milton, I'm Rob Willman and the entire ICTN crew. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time on the ICTN Game of the Week.
Irving Game of the Week has been brought to you in part by Gerald Stavely Dry Cleaning,